What's up, guys? It's your boy, but I wanted to talk about something very, very serious here. Something that just happened to me. Something that I'm not okay with. And that is people trying to make me somebody that I'm not. In a sense, people trying to change me. Trying to change who I am. And that person, I hope she's watching. Her name is Michelle. Now, Michelle, you sat there and you made some fair points. You really did. I do need a manager and a publisher and stuff like that. You're right. I do need a manager. You're correct about that. But what you don't realize is the music industry doesn't work the way that it used to. Everything's all digital now. And let me tell you right now, I would rather do music out of my basement for the rest of my life than to be another mainstream robot. Because I've seen what the mainstream industry does. I've witnessed it firsthand, and I'm not down with that. Now, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate your help. I really do. I appreciate what you're trying to do. But what you don't realize, Michelle, is the music industry has changed immensely. See, I don't want to be signed to a major label. Why? Because they turn good artists into robots. And those artists hardly ever see any of the money they are truly worth. And I don't want that for myself. See, I would rather do music out of my basement and release my stuff intimately on my own and help people through what I do rather than sit there and change who I am just to get a little bit of fame. Because, see, it's not about the image for me. I can give a fuck what I look like. I'm trying to prove a point by doing this. You know, I'm not going to change who I am for nobody. Not you, not the cat down the road. I'm not going to change who I am for nobody. It's not about the looks. It's about the music. And I'm trying to prove that point by doing my own music on my own. Would I like to get a manager? Yes. Would I like to get a publicist? Yes. But here's the thing. Whether I get any of those or not, time will tell. But let me tell you, I wasn't put on this earth to be another mainstream robot. I was put on this earth to help people, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm sorry to say, Michelle, but what you did was very offensive, and that's why I blocked you. That's why I blocked you on Facebook, because what you did was very, very offensive. Very offensive. Like I said, I would rather release songs that talk about real stuff, that talk about real emotions, that the record labels can't object. I would rather talk about real things that record labels won't allow me to put out, such as suicide, depression. And those things are more real than talking about, I'd rather talk about that shit than talk about, bitches, guns, drugs, getting laid, getting high, getting stoned. I would rather talk about saving somebody's life or talk about my experiences of being on the edge of suicide, almost ending my own life. I would rather talk about what it's like to go through the motions of depression and suicide on a daily basis to help somebody. I would rather talk about mental and verbal and emotional abuse. I would rather talk about sexual abuse, pedophilia. I would rather talk about those very real subjects on a daily basis out of my basement for the rest of my life. Because at least I know by me speaking about the things that I've gone through and talking about these subjects, I know I'm saving someone's life. I'm helping someone. I would rather help one person out of my basement than to be another mainstream robot wannabe. Yo, Hooligan Ninja, what up? That's why I started doing music, is to help people. Whether I make money off my music or off my merchandise, I could care less. See, I would rather release my music on my own terms and do shit my way, on my time, rather than sit there and have to worry about running around the studio. I gotta be there at this time and do this, and I won't have time to do this. I would rather do what I love on my own time rather than to sit there and take up somebody else's time. Because at least with my own home studio, I'm not taking up anybody else's time and I'm not wasting my money. I'm not wasting anyone's time. I'm not sitting there going over it and over it and over it and over it every day. Because that's what I do. I go over songs over and over and over and over again to make sure I have them correct, to make sure I have them right. And guess what? People love what I do. So I'm not going to stop being who I am. I would rather do shit out of my basement for the rest of my life. I would rather do shit out of the basement for the rest of my life rather than be another mainstream robot that gets told what to do, where to go, who to be, how to act in front of friends, how to act in front of family, how to act as a person. I don't want that for myself. I want more for myself. I want the fans to see me and who I really am as a person and know my experiences and know what I've been through and to hear my stories so that they may get the help they need through me. I will not bow down to any record label. I would love to be signed to a record label, yes, but only if they're willing to let me do my music my way, on my terms. That's the only way I will sign to a legitimate label is if they let me do my music my way and they don't push it. They don't sit there and say, oh, no, you have to do this style. You have to do what's popular. You have to do what's already popping off. You have to be a mumble rapper or a pop artist or this kind of rock artist or this kind of metal vocalist. Or you can't do just piano work. You can't release just violin work. You can't release orchestral scores. I don't want that for myself. Hey, yo, mods, take care of this clown. Never mind, I got him. And like I said, I understand where you're coming from, Michelle. I totally, appreciate what you're trying to do. I get it. And you're right, I do need a manager and a publisher, and I would love to have one. But I want one that's willing to help me with what I'm already doing. That I want one that actually sees my vision, that sees what I'm trying to do, and supports what I'm trying to do, and supports the message that my music puts out, which is telling people that they are not alone when they go through depression, when they go through suicide, when they get bullied, when they go through these emotions. I want these people to know that they're not alone. And that's why I do music, to help people. Because not only is it therapeutic for myself, but for some, it very much is a way for them to cope with what they're doing. Michelle, like I understand that you don't know. Like I understand if you don't realize how the music industry is, but that's just how they work nowadays. Everything is digital. Anybody can start up their own record label with literally no money at all. All you need is a home studio, a brand name, and a good grasp on how to do business, as well as a place to put your music out. Do you need to invest in certain things? Yes, absolutely. Like I invested in a MIDI keyboard. Now, if you don't know what a MIDI keyboard is, it's essentially a keyboard that you can do digital instruments on. You can do digital instruments on, such as piano work, violin work, pretty much anything you can think of. It's essentially a controller for FL Studios and every other, DAW program out there. But if there's one thing I will never do, is pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I am me and I am always going to be me. Now, if anybody else out there is actually a legitimate publisher or a legitimate manager or knows somebody that is willing to work with me, please step forward. No, I'm not fighting nobody. I mean, I'm fighting with IP2, but that's because they're a group of pedophiles, and I'm not going to stand down and let bully others around anymore. But let me tell you, right now, Michelle, what you did not only was that offensive, it was wrong. And not only was it offensive to me, it was offensive to every other artist out there, like my boy Crypt, my little brother Ian, aka Bratley, who's busted since he was 15 to get to where he's at now. And you think what you're doing, telling people who to be, is right? It's not. Enigmatic, you don't need a record label, my dude. I guarantee you do like I did and do things on your own terms, you'll get somewhere, my dude. Just do like I did. Do your music, put it out there, live stream it, do whatever you have to do to get it out there. And I guarantee you, man, people will start listening. I promise you that. I don't need street credit. You want to know why? Because I'm above street cred. I don't do gang shit. You know, it's sad, Michelle. It really is. I thought you were a good person. But by you doing what you just did, you proved all that wrong. You showed me that you want me to be another mainstream robot, and I don't want that. Ah, Doc Shock. The little bitch that I buried several months ago. What brings you back here? What brings you back here, Shock? Didn't I bury your ass like 5 months ago? Ask me if I give a shit. Do I really look like I give a fuck? No, I don't. So, Enigmatic, please show our guest here to the door. Thank you. All right, Crypt, that works. Thank you, bro. But like I said, Michelle, I do appreciate what you're trying to do. Wholeheartedly, I appreciate it. But as I said, the one thing I will not do is change what I'm doing and change who I am. I would rather help a few people get by in life on what I do than to sit down and be another mainstream robot. Yo, Schmeck, what up? What up, Schmeck? And I thought about it, guys. Speaking of which, Schmecklecat, I know you talked to Tonic and the others, and you can tell those guys over there that these Right here, these are not for sale. I'm not selling. And you can tell everyone I said that too. You want to know why I'm not selling? Because these are part of me. They're part of who I am. Let me tell you something. Outside of these goggles, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a normal average guy that's essentially afraid in some ways. But let me tell you something. When I started going to Comic Cons, doing what I love to do, let me tell you, when I started coming up with my own characters, utilizing these and many other things, you know what it did? It boosted my confidence. So when I put these on, that's not just another thing that I throw on. For me, it's part of my attire. It's part of who I am. And you can tell your boys to golf because I'm not selling. Well, you can tell Lucifer, not for sale. No, but I do snowboard from time to time. I haven't been snowboarding in a few years because the last snowboard I had fucking broke. So, yeah. But no, I don't ski. Tried it, didn't like it. But like I said, these goggles are staying right where they're at. Now, if y'all want to go out and buy a pair and send them here and have me sign them and then I send them back to you, dope. That'd be cool. Right. Like I said, dude, though, like Pneumatic, it's definitely been a long time since I've been snowboarding. I definitely do miss it, but I haven't been in like a long time. I'm not selling. Because you can ask my boy Crip. You can ask my boy Crip. These goggles are a staple part of who I am as a YouTuber, as part of my identity on YouTube. And I refuse. Right there. And to answer, I already know what you're going to say. No, I don't sleep with them on. I know a lot of people think I sleep with them on, but I don't. Yo, Immortal. Caleb, bro. How you doing, brother? But as I said, though, to anyone out there that wants to get the notion to try to change who I am, don't do